This episode is sponsored by Realtor.com, who wants you to take advantage of your free profile on Realtor.com. By claiming and completing your free profile, adding a photo, and all of the information that puts you head and shoulders above the competition, you're on your way to receiving free leads, helping search engines find you, and staying top of mind with past clients. To learn more about claiming your free profile, go to Realtor.com/profile.
Welcome to the Real View podcast, where Ohio Realtors connect you to innovators and influencers, keeping you with the real view of real estate. Whether you're a broker, agent, first-time homebuyer, industry leader, or just happen to stumble upon our podcast today, you can expect to hear tips, tools, tricks, interesting information, and so much more from the experts in Ohio's real estate game.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Real View podcast. I am your host, Allison Wiley. Joining me today, our special guest, I am joined by Monica LaCruz. She is an affordable lending manager in mission and community engagement, single family with Freddie Mac, as well as Sandee Lutz. She is national renovation sales manager for Cross Country Mortgage. Ladies, welcome onto the show. I'm so happy to be having you today.
Honored to be with you today.
Thank you, Allison, for having me.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about today's episode because I don't think that this is something that we've covered on the show before in the almost 200 episodes that we've been recording. We're going to get into the world of renovations, what that looks like, what options are available out there. Monica and Sandee have some really great resources and information to share with our listeners who can give you guys really a great insight into the options around renovation, how it's going to address some of the challenges that we know are out there around the real estate industry in the world and what we all experience as realtors and helping our clients every day. But before we get started in today's conversation, I would like to hear a little bit more from you all, Sandee and Monica. Could you guys share with our listeners a little bit more about you and the work that you do in your respective roles? And Monica, why don't we start with you?
Absolutely. So, like you mentioned, I'm an affordable lending manager here at Freddie Mac, and I'm part of our real estate professional outreach team. So what I do is I educate real estate professionals about our affordable lending products. So we know that you are often the first person that a potential buyer will reach out to as they start their homeownership journey. And so by understanding a more affordable products that are out there, you're better equipped to help more buyers, right? A lot of times when they think low down payment, they default to FHA, which is a great product to use, but sometimes going conventional might save your buyer a little bit more money in the long run. So we're really here to educate you, provide some free tools and resources that are really going to reach more home buyers as they kind of navigate this home ownership journey.
I love that. Thank you. Sandee, what about you?
Same kind of token as Monica. I mean, I am the national sales manager here for renovation lending at Cross Country. And that is basically my role, getting out and educating realtors, other loan officers, because a lot of other loan officers don't know how renovation loans work, and just the public itself. I mean, just getting it out there in the public and taking away the fear. I think so many people are afraid of renovation loans. Maybe they had a bad experience. Maybe they just don't want to try, but just trying to change the whole perspective of what a renovation loan is and how it can be a great tool to use in a market like today where we have low inventory.
Yeah, no, that really is. And I can't wait to hear a little bit more from both of your perspectives on some of this that we were just talking about. So let's just dive into it. Monica, I'm going to start with you. We know that affordable housing is top of mind for leaders all across our industry. We hear this coming up, through legislation, through the government, through multiple different ways that there is affordable housing crisis, and we need to do a better job at making homes more affordable, at really addressing this challenge. Tell us, in your opinion, being at Freddie Mac, what you all are doing to address the affordable housing challenge.
Absolutely. It is our mission, right? Affordability is our mission. And where I sit on the mission and community engagement team, it really is something that we are, kind of take very responsible and want to make sure that we're providing solutions out there. We also have a duty to serve initiative as well, and it's really designed to help our underserved markets. And it's really our plan describes and integrates comprehensive and sustainable approaches to setting standards and taking action to benefit the underserved communities across the country. Our duty to serve represents an opportunity, right? One that we really welcome and embrace to, lead work across the mortgage industry and developing effective solutions for some of our most persistent housing problems, obviously affordability, housing inventory being issues as well. So our duty to serve regulation was issued by FHFA, and we've since then have increased loan production. We've implemented products enhancements. We're going to be covering some of our solutions, today, but we also touch on manufactured housing through our Choice Home product. We also have Heritage One, Choice Renovation, Choice Renovation Express, our Green Choice Mortgage. We also do work with community land trusts and income-based resale restriction mortgages and more. So we are really, providing a one-stop shop with all of the products that we have that are really addressing the challenge. We also have industry-leading research, right? We don't know that the problem's not out there unless we're looking at it and dissecting a lot of the research. So we work with different industries and policymakers, all really coming together through our Rural Research Symposium that we host every year. And it's really designed to present and exchange latest insights and ideas throughout the rural housing market. And additionally, we deliver technical assistance for lenders, as well as educate our borrowers and our consumers to expand affordable housing and access to credit to all of our communities out there.
Yeah, it's really great. That sounds like you guys really have made that commitment to affordable housing and coming up with innovative solutions. I think that's really important. There's not a one size fit all approach that is going to be able to solve this problem. So it's really great to hear, you guys are getting creative with what you're doing. You're taking a look at the big picture and seeing, hey, how can we come up with a different way of thinking or a different way of doing things that's going to help, address this challenge and really help people be able to get into more affordable homes. So that's really great to hear. And we know that there's also, the lack of inventory, and you hit on it too. Affordable housing is a big challenge right now, but that lack of inventory, I just hear from our members all the time, I can't find any houses. I hear from friends, I can't find any houses I want to buy. There's just nothing around, and we know I think at the last National Association of Realtors meeting that they said we're about 6 million units short on where we need to be when it comes to inventory. And some of that is the lack of new construction. Some of that is the desire for more affordable options. This is where I think our discussion today is really going to come up around renovating older homes. And there's so many great homes, and I know especially here in Ohio too. I was just having a conversation with our CEO the other day, and he says there's so many great homes, that are out there that are huge and are worth, could be worth a lot of money, but just need a little love and TLC. What does Freddie Mac have as far as any mortgage solutions to help those interested in renovating older homes to make that an option for them and make their dream of homeownership available?
Yeah, I know that right now a lot of our professionals are working with first-time home buyers who have that unrealistic expectation of what their first home is going to be, right? And trying to navigate that. And I think our product, Choice Renovation, really allows them to kind of see what the potential could be in a future home, right? We have, the perfect situation with the rise of HGTV and those flip and flop shows. This generation of home buyers are willing to roll up their sleeves and embrace some of those fixer up things. And so with our Choice Renovation, it's a financing solution that allows for the buyers to use their mortgage funds for a purchase, but also to incorporate the renovations into a single closing transaction, right? So if you are looking and working with a buyer who's saying, hey, I really like this neighborhood, but I can't see myself cooking in that kitchen, right? And so you can, paint the picture for them as like, hey, you get to make the kitchen what you want it to be, right? So this solution can be combined with our other low down payment products that are making it more affordable for those first time home buyers through, Home Possible or Home One. But we also know that a lot of consumers are very, environmentally conscious now, right? And so being a first time home buyer, moving into your first home, I still rent, unfortunately. I'm still one of those people that are trying to get into a home as well. And I don't pay for water, I don't pay for trash. And these are added expenses that I probably are going to need to start paying if I move into a single family home. And so, we want to make sure that utility costs are maintained and kept as low as possible. So, making your home a little bit more green through our green choice, it's a solution that allows for borrowers to use mortgage funds to finance energy efficient home improvements, right? And so, whether that's updating your windows, adding, Nest thermostats and solar powered water heaters, things like that, little improvements that are going to hopefully over the long run address the affordability challenges that you have on your home, but also be a little bit more energy efficient. And again, both the choice renovation as well as green choice can be combined with our low down payment product solutions, Home Possible and Home One.
Yeah, that sounds like that's a really great option for people out there too. And I know, like, I love that you brought up the first time home buyers, because I know that's something that we hear from our members all the time, that we have these people who are so ready, so willing, and just can't find that perfect home, or like you said, are just hung up on one piece of the house. And being able to say, hey, you can look at renovations as a real option for this, and there are tools and resources out there available for you that can help you get into that. And the green thing too, I know we've seen this come up a lot in our conferences. How, like you mentioned, this generation is wanting to be more eco-friendly, is wanting to really look out for the environment. So those are two really great options that can address some of these needs and wants that current home buyers are hoping to achieve as they work through their journey of buying a home. What others, we kind of talked about consumers and what is available out there for home buyers when they're thinking about purchasing their new home. What resources do you have specifically for our realtor members, for anyone who's listening right now, for our Ohio realtors? What resources do you all provide for real estate professionals? And before we started recording, Monica gave like a great answer on this. I was like, man, we started recording a minute too late. So tell us a little bit about what you guys have for realtors and kind of what you see the role of realtors are when it comes to the whole home buying journey.
Yeah. I think when you start your home ownership journey, it is really hard. You don't know where to start. And ultimately, this particular generation, I am a millennial. So this millennial generation, it all comes down to trust. Who do you trust, right? So a lot of people will turn to their family members and their friends, but you can turn to Freddie Mac, right? We are a trusted resource, right? We can't sell anything. We're not trying to market, and try to get contact information and things like that. So a few tools that I want to highlight is, our tool called My Home. It's a consumer-facing website. It answers common questions related to home ownership. It's a free place for people to go and just gain knowledge about the process, right? It has questions and tools, calculators. If you're looking to rent, refinance, maybe you're having a hardship. Again, there's no shame in that. We know life happens. And so you can go there and just gain information. We're not trying to spam you afterwards. So it's a great tool to use. We also have a real estate professionals resource center. We know that here at Freddie Mac, we do a lot of work with our lending partners like Cross Country, and we do provide a lot of tools, but that might not necessarily be the avenue that a real estate professional would be wanting to get information on. So we do have a hub called our Real Estate Professionals Resource Center, where you can go and just gain insights on products that are going to be relevant to you and how you can use them with your clients. And then the last thing I want to spotlight is Credit Smart, right? We know that starting this homeownership journey is really tough. And so there's going to be different steps in the process in which your buyers are going to be at. And so Credit Smart is our financial education tool. I'd like to talk about it in three buckets. First is the Credit Smart Essentials. We're just going to teach consumers how to become better money managers, right? How to budget, how to create a savings plan, whether they're trying to save for a car, whether they're saving for retirement, or whether they're saving to actually purchase a home, right? We also have Credit Smart Homebuyer U, where it walks them through the entire home buying process. Now, there's a lot of programs out there that require first-time homebuyer education. Credit Smart Homebuyer U will reach that requirement, and you will get a certificate at the end. But it's great because some of the questions that, if you've gone through this a few times, right, as a real estate professional, you don't know all the information that the buyer this particular buyer might want. So that's going to walk them through the entire process. But again, we are all about sustainable home ownership, because some of that also covers post-purchase, things that you would need to be aware of as a first-time home buyer, right? So we want to put them in the homes, but we want to keep them in the home as well. So Homebuyer U is a great tool. We also have Credit Smart Coach. for the real estate professional, where you can become certified to teach Credit Smart Essentials in your community. So that way, if you are, holding first-time homebuyer fairs, or, will you want to educate your buyers on, smart credit tips that they need to become a successful homeowner, that's what I would recommend. So please check out our website. It's freddieMac.com / real estate pros to get all the latest and greatest from us.
No, those are really great resources that are existing out there, especially in today's world, with the news from the NAR settlement, just proving our worth to our buyers is more important now than ever. And this is a really great way that you could differentiate yourself, from other agents out there, having these tools, staying up to date on what's out there, what options are available for your clients. That's just really going to enhance your service and make your value proposition that much stronger. So it's so important that we're staying up to date, that we're educating ourselves on this. Definitely check out the website. I know I'm going to go check it out, see what's there, see what information.
Really quickly too, I want to remind, it's free. It's all free. Again, we're not selling anything. It's all free to use. So please check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are the tools that we need, dealing with the challenges we are through the NAR settlement. This is going to be just a really great resource out there. It's free, that's our favorite thing. So check that out, see what exists, and put it as a tool in your toolbox. I think that's a really great option. So Monica, thank you so much for giving us a good rundown of Freddie Mac and what you all are doing. And thanks for your partnership too with realtors across the country. And we appreciate, having you guys in our back pocket for sure.
Definitely.
This episode of The Real View is brought to you by the Ohio Association of Community Colleges. Ohio's network of community colleges provides accessible training that accommodates the busy lifestyles of aspiring real estate professionals at half the price of a traditional university. With convenient locations in every part of the state, as well as online options, Ohio's community colleges are your smart choice for pre-licensing education. For more details or to start the journey to a real estate career, visit the education page at ohiorealtors.org and then click on the pre-license course locations.
Sandee, I want to switch over to you and have you go into a little bit more detail about the options available at Cross Country Mortgage, what you all are doing around this renovation, loans and things like that. We really want to make sure our real estate professionals are educated about the solutions available to them, specifically when it's around this renovation loan. And you were getting into it a little bit in the beginning as we were going over introductions. Tell us a little bit about renovation lending, what you all do there, and you were kind of mentioning some of the myths that exist out there around them, and help us dispel any of that, but give us a good rundown of renovation lending and your perspective on that.
Great. Thanks, Allison. So renovation lending is, like you're talking about, just another tool. I mean, it's so important right now as a realtor that you have as many tools in your pocket that you can have, because it's a tough market, right? And I think renovation is perfect for that. Your CEO talking about the uglier houses that just need a little bit of love. Renovation is perfect for that. I mean, houses that are mid-construction, houses that just maybe need a new roof, maybe just need a new furnace. I mean, there is really no limit. I think one of the myths for sure is that there's a minimum or there's a maximum, and that's not true. I mean, there's a variety of products that can help with renovation lending. There's FHA, there's VA, there's conventional renovation loans, there's USDA renovational loans, which are the rural property renovation loans, right? So we offer them all. I always tell my real estate partners, it's kind of up to you guys to sell the houses. It's kind of up to us to figure out how to finance it. So if you have that kind of ugly duckling and you want to kind of bring it to light, bring it on in, send it on our way. Let us offer your clients some options on how to finance that house and get them into it. The renovation loan itself doesn't really drive the renovations. It doesn't say you have to do this or you have to do that. You've got to meet minimum lending standards, right? So if you do have something environmental, lead-based paint, mold, radon, something like that, you're going to have to fix that. But it doesn't necessarily say that you have to do anything else, or it doesn't say that you can't do anything else. I mean, I'll give you a couple of great examples. Say we have a buyer that wants to live in a certain subdivision, but they can only find a very small house in that sub. Maybe their parents are going to offer their daycare for them, right? They have 4 kids. They can only find a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house. They could use a renovation loan to add square footage onto that house. They could make it a 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a family room off the back. The appraisal, the value is going to be done based on that future condition. So it takes into account everything that you're doing. On the flip side, perhaps your parents are getting older. You need to bring them in closer to you, but you don't want them, say, in your house. You could add an accessory dwelling unit, an ADU, a granny flat, using a renovation loan so they can be on your property, but not right in your home. Obviously zoning would need to agree. It doesn't have to be a purchase transaction either. A lot of people think it's only purchase dollars. You can do this for a renovation as well. A lot of people are staying put. They don't really want to move. There isn't that much out there. You can do it as a renovation. So owner-occupied properties, 1 to 4 units, or you can look at a second home or an investment property as well with a renovation loan. Those, however, need to be single-family homes. And I think, you guys touching on affordability and low to moderate income buyers. I mean, we have products that, we can add down payment assistance to that. Freddie offers stuff we can couple together to help them get maybe some money. And if I couple it with the low to moderate income product up there, it's going to give them a little bit better interest rate, a little bit better private mortgage insurance factor. So all of these things are going to help get these people into homes. That's the goal, right? Is home ownership. If you're working with that very picky buyer, maybe you've shown them 30, 40, 50 houses, it's time. It's time to say, hey, have you ever heard of a renovation loan, right? Because you're never going to find that perfect house for them. All you need to do is just mention it. And then I'm telling you, let your lender take it from there. You got to work with a good lender. We don't want to be working with somebody that doesn't really do them. A renovation specialist, I think, is key because renovation loans are a little bit different. They're not what they used to be, where we had to come up with multiple bids and contractor had to fill out a packet of papers and validate, and then we took 90 days to close them. It doesn't go like that anymore. They close very quickly. You'd be surprised. If you haven't tried one in a while, I would encourage all real estate professionals out there to give it a whirl.
No, I think it's such a great option. And as I mentioned, my story of all the homes in Ohio. I mean, there are so many where we are in our state that are like that. And it could really bring someone to that closing table and really make their goals possible through this. And maybe it's just a different way of thinking, and that's our role as realtors, is to say, hey, have you guys thought about this? Hey, like you mentioned, you're not seeing anything that you totally love right now, but what if you thought about it like this? I also love the creativity around all these loans. I mean, you mentioned some great examples of different ways that you could use this. If you're already in a home, you want to expand on it. This really just goes to show that there's no limits really when it comes to this and what you're able to do. It's worth exploring, even if it's not something that's possible, it's worth exploring. It's worth, getting more information about, and having this as a resource that you can communicate to your clients is absolutely a great option as we deal with today's market and how the challenges that exist out there. This is really great.
Yeah, I mean, even like little things, like think about that house, that first time home buyer that, is living paycheck to paycheck. They don't have any money. We got gift funds for down payment, and we had to get you guys to negotiate us a seller credit, and that furnace is 30 years old. Is that really the best way to get them into that house? You know what they're going to do. They're going to go buy furniture and big screen TVs and curtains and whatnot, run up all their credit card debt. The next winter, when that furnace doesn't fire up, what are they going to do, right? We don't want the house back. So would we have been better off suggesting, you could put your furnace into your 30-year fixed mortgage, right? It's fixed. I mean, you know what they're going to do. Why not let them do it into their 30-year fixed mortgage? When we close, that payment's set. They have everything they need. They're set up to be successful homeowners for the next 10 or 20 years because we've given them all those basics,
Yeah, no, that's really smart. And especially if we're thinking about, how many deals fall through because of stuff like this, because of a furnace, because of, whatever that has come up on the inspection report, and it can be covered through one of these loans. I mean, that is just what a great way. I know if I had a realtor and she's like, this is what we can do for you. This is how, we're going to make this happen regardless. Roll it into your 30-year mortgage. I was, oh my gosh, you just saved me all this headache and hassle of how am I going to pay for that out of pocket. And, that's another thing that, we've been talking about too, is are there going to be more upfront costs for buyers? Are they going to have to spend more money out of pocket on things like this? And having these options available to help alleviate some of those worries and that stress, I think is really, really great. Are there any other solutions that you see that help our home buyers get to that closing table?
So yeah, I mean, I think one of the first questions that they're always going to ask me is, what do I have to do? Or how much are those things going to cost, right? I'm not a contractor, and quite honestly, I'm not really a property condition person either. I'm more, on the lending side. I always suggest though, there's a person out there called a HUD consultant. That person they're versed in property condition and they're versed in costs. So you can have them out for minimal, a couple $100 for them to walk the property, tell you what you have to do, give you some idea of what it's going to cost so that you know if you want to move forward. I mean, consumers right now, they underestimate the cost of renovations. I mean, everything in the world has gone up and contracting is no different. I mean, what cost $5,000 10 years ago now costs 20, right? So they're a little unrealistic in their costs. So I always tell them, do the HUD consultant, have them come out. Let him tell you it's going to be 30 or 40 or 50. Then you can decide if that still works in your budget. I mean, maybe you qualify because we'll qualify you most likely for more loan than you're comfortable with, right? Most people say, oh my gosh, I would never take on a payment like that, right? So we could probably still qualify you, but maybe you're not comfortable. Then you know that that's probably not the house for you, and you move on to another house. I mean, another thing that I like is virtual staging. I mean, there's websites out there. Boxbrownie.com is one that comes to mind. I mean, you can take a picture of a really ugly room for a few dollars and turn it into something beautiful. I mean, have that out at a listing appointment. There is no way anybody else is walking into a listing appointment with something like that. Or have it open at an open house, or use it on your MLS listing, wherever you can use that picture to give the buyer some imagination. I mean, I like the tagline that there's no lack of inventory, there's just a lack of imagination, right? So tell that to your buyers, right? Get them to imagine, as much as they watch HGTV, and they want that kind of a house. They don't know how to take that ugly duckling to get it to look like that. So as the realtor, you just kind of give them a little bit of, it could look like this, And I like those websites a lot for all different purposes. I recommend that realtors use them all the time. And be aware of your down payment assistance programs that are available out there, right? That's always a struggle. People are always shocked at how much it's going to cost to get into a house. Check out websites, find money for them, help them find a contractor. That's a big deal with a renovation loan for sure, because the contractor is kind of key. But anything that you can do to set yourself apart, I think is going to get you another client right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that is, our goal as realtors. We want to be the ones who are providing you with all of this information. We want to give you as much knowledge that we can and what's available, what's out there, what are different ways to think about things, different ways that maybe you might not be thinking originally, as you mentioned, showing them some potential examples of what stuff could look like, just really being creative and helping them think outside of the box in order to achieve their goals, I think is really important and is really going to be a great asset for our realtors to have as we navigate into this new world of real estate that we'll be navigating on. But I want to thank both of you for joining me today, for sharing your insights and knowledge. This was really great. I know I learned a lot. I know our listeners are going to take this back with them and share this great information. Look at the tools and resources that are available out there. Sandee, I do want to just ask you one last thing. What is the best way for our realtors and our consumers listening out there to get more information on some of the things that you shared with us today?
So there are websites. I mean, you can go to all kinds of different websites, like even going to Freddie, there's resources there. There's resources under 203K for FHA. USDA, you're not going to find much, and you're not going to find much for VA. Reach out to us here at Cross Country. We're happy to help you. We have a whole renovation department. We will direct you. We'll help you. We have links to websites and things like that. So any time that you had any kind of a question, or if you wanted to just bring us in to your local office to have a little quick presentation, we're happy to do that as well. I mean, I love to talk about renovation lending. It's kind of my thing. I've been doing it forever. So anytime that I can get in front of a group of realtors and get them a little bit engaged, I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, no, that's great. I encourage everyone to reach out to Sandee, get her, at one of your sales meetings. It's really great for agents to learn more about this and help spread the word as we help make homeownership available for all of our clients and anyone who wants it. So I want to thank you all both for joining me today. This has been so great and so wonderful getting to talk to you and learn a little bit more about what you all are doing to make the dream of homeownership possible. So I want to thank you both for your work, for your partnership with Realtors, and for your time here today.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Allison, for having me. We appreciate it.
Definitely.
And to all of our listeners, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back with you next week.
Thank you for listening to The Real View. That wraps up today's episode. You can keep up with the latest on the podcast at ohiorealtors.org/therealview and on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Have questions, comments, or suggestions? We want to hear from you. Email us at podcast@ohiorealtors.org. We'll see you next time.